Hey, how you doing? This is Kevin Moloney from the Moloney Method. Today I'm going to take you back many decades to talk about one of the key things that you have to bring to your workout. In fact, it's so important that if you don't have it, don't even go to your workout. Maybe 50 years ago, a young Kev Moloney worked out in San Francisco. And in those days, our gyms were nothing like the gyms are today. In fact, very few people worked out. Whether they were better or worse, I don't know, but they were different, completely different. I remember approaching what we would call a hardcore gym in San Francisco. And within a block, I could hear the beautiful sound of 45s being put on that Olympic bar, crashing in to another 45. I could hear the sound of the quarters, the 25s. When you trained back then, you knew the sounds of every weight. And it was music to hear them crashing against each other. The other thing that was completely different in those days is there was no headphones, okay? There was no people walking around in a trance, not being able to hear what was going on, or back then, because we didn't have the earphones, it seemed to be we could create more energy for each other. So I remember I was a newbie at this gym, and I remember going there, and there were all these beasts around me. And we were doing our workout, and as I say, those beautiful sounds, boom, boom, things crashing to the floor. And we were doing pretty good. It was a nice workout. And then all of a sudden, this guy enters the door, and everything kind of picked up. The crashing sounds got louder, the groans got louder, the overall energy in our gym got louder. So I worked out a little while longer, and this guy I had met, and I said to the guy, I said, "Who's that guy that just came in? Things just changed." And the guy said, "Hey, when he walks in every morning, it gets real." What I found out is the difference that one guy can make in a gym. This guy was like a professional. Come in, warm up, boom, brought himself into his heat, and then carried the entire gym with him to a much higher level of a workout that we normally would have had without him. Brings me to my main point, emotion, okay? If you're going to be a trainer, you have to bring emotion to your training. It's not something where you're sitting there reading instructions or whatever. The body needs the mind to say, get into this, raise your level. You have much, much more than you think you do. Now, I'll take the other side of emotion. People can take your emotion away. People can build your emotion, or they can take your emotion. We throw around the term toxic. People who are real trainers, and I see them all on Instagram. There's some tremendous trainers on Instagram. Mind-blowing people doing mind-blowing things. But somewhere in their progress to become a full-time trainer, they have run into toxic people who have tried to take the edge off their fanaticism. It can happen on the way to a gym. You could be going to a gym with the best intentions and feeling really good. But if you run into a certain type of person who hits the buttons, you will feel that energy leaking out of you, okay? So what we have to do, what we have to learn as trainers is we have to stay away from toxic people who take away your edge for what you are doing. They make side comments, they're always hitting the buttons, okay? If you're a professional trainer, you gotta stay away from those people. And you have to remember, if you don't bring emotion to the gym, you will not make progress and you will not find out what you have that day. And believe me, as I go back over those decades, it was a different world. No music, sound of that plates, there was nothing but black in the gym. There was no such thing as chrome. And you'd hear groans and you'd hear people cheering for people. It was a completely different game, but it raised you. It raised you up. Today, because of the type of gyms we have, and I'm sure there's some old school gyms out there, we don't have that. The thought of seeing a stationary bike in the old days, people would say, what is that? What's a bike doing in here? Okay? My point is, the group can move an individual, and individuals can take away your edge. So as a professional trainer, and I see you all out there on Instagram, you guys go long, you go hard, and you lay it all out there. Make sure you stay away from toxic people who create these energy leaks for you. So the Moloney Method recommends, make sure you bring your emotion with you when you are going to the gym or running or working out outside. Because without emotion, you will just go through the motions. Okay, good talking to you. We'll see you at our next show.